Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's time for another First Chapter Friday. I'm super excited about this one. Of course, when am I not excited, right? This time, I have a chapter book for you written by Katherine Applegate. So if you like the one and only Ivan, if you like the one and only Bob, you like that style of writing, you will probably like this book. Oh, she also wrote Wish Tree. We liked that one, didn't we? For those of you that remember Wish Tree from a couple of years ago, it was a school-wide read aloud. So, we like Katherine Applegate a lot, I think, around here. So, the other thing you might not know about the author Katherine Applegate is she's very much interested in preserving wildlife and endangered species. And this chapter book, this novel, really is about that, even though it's completely made up. What? It's called Endling, The Last. So I'll read the back to you so that you get kind of an idea of what's going on, and then I'll read the first chapter. It seemed there were many ways to leave the world forever. We didn't want to believe our days were numbered, but here's what we did know. Once we'd been many, and now we were few. My parents feared I would be the first among us to die when trouble came, and trouble they knew was fast approaching. I was small, and sometimes disappointing, but I knew I could be brave as well. I was not afraid to be the first to die. I just did not want to be the last to live. I did not want to be the Endling. And that's where the name comes from. Now, you know I love my end papers, right? Check out this one. It's a map. It's a map of where the story takes place. It's a mythical place, meaning totally made up. This is a fantasy book. It's called Nadara. And as you read through the story, and when I read it, I would go through and find all the places on the map. There are some illustrations that go along with it, just like other Katherine Applegate books, right? So here we go. Endling, noun, the last living individual in a species, or occasionally a subspecies. Number 2, the official public ceremony at which a species is declared extinct, a eumony. Or 3, informal, someone undertaking a doomed or chiaxic quest. Interesting. So the table of contents looks like this. It's divided into parts, which other books of hers are like that too. So part 1 so when you get to a part, there's an illustration. So it gives you kind of a visual of what's going on. The end begins. Chapter 1, Endling. Long before I heard the word, I was used to being last. I was the runt, the youngest and by far and away, smallest of my 7 siblings, which meant I was last to drink, the last to eat, the last to be protected. As the lowest-ranking member of our dwindling pack, I accepted my place without resentment. Much resentment, anyway. It was perhaps only fair. My failings were many, or so I was often told. I was too young to be clever, too small to be helpful. My feet were large and clumsy. They tangled when I ran. My coat was untidy, my manners dreadful. I once ate an entire leg of antleer before my rightful turn. I was curious to a fault. I wandered too far and wondered too often. I was, in short, a disappointment at my only task in life, which was to do my best, like all Dairns, to stay quietly alive. Those days you'd have been as likely to pet a unicorn as you would to sight a Dairn. Our pack elder, De Lintner, white-muzzled and frail, liked to speak of a time when our ancestors roamed in great bands, hundreds of Dairns at a time, across the Nadaran plains. At night, they would form into family groups, gathering around to prepare wild grasses and berries, or perhaps cook the stray badger or catch it. But all that was long ago. Now there were just a few of us left in our part of the world, a single band of 4 families cowering together, meek as mouselings, hiding from humans, those most unpredictable of predators, hiding from the sun itself. Some said there were more Dairns far away, living in mountain caves or on distant islands. Some said those sightings were the result of misguided hope. Dairns were often mistaken for dogs. We share many physical similarities. Dogs, however, lack opposable thumbs. That means like thumbs that can move like us. They can't walk upright. They aren't able to glide from tree to tree. They can't speak to humans. So are you getting a picture? Like they're able to glide using their fur, kind of like a flying squirrel, I would imagine. And dogs aren't, forgive me, the sharpest claws in the hunt, if you catch my meaning. In any case, whether there are more of us or not, pestilent nor feared, we would all be gone soon, slaughtered for our warm and silky fur. Like the Calesian seal, hunted by humans to extinction, or the red marlet, devastated by disease, or the blue-tufted zigun, wiped out when its territory was destroyed in the long-ago war. It seemed there were many ways to leave the world forever. We didn't want to believe our days were numbered, but here's what we did know. Once we'd been many, and now we were few. Kind of like endangered animals, right? My parents feared I would be the first among us to die when trouble came, and trouble they knew was fast approaching. I was small and sometimes disappointing, but I knew I could be brave as well. I was not afraid to be the first to die. I just did not want to be the last to live. I did not want to be the Endling. Chapter 2 is called A Visit from Some Butter Bats. So every chapter has a little illustration to kind of give you a picture of what's going on. So now you can tell, looking at the cover here, the story is being told by a character, right? First person perspective. And the character is this person, this character right here, this animal. And it's a made-up animal called a Dairn. Katherine Applegate made up her own animals in this book. It's pretty fun. The Dairn's name ends up being Bix. And this, Table, becomes Bix's best friend. And they go through a really great adventure together. Super thrilling. Like, you won't believe the things that happen in this book. Well, guess what? Katherine Applegate knew she couldn't finish the story in one book. This one's called Endling the Last, and then Endling the First came out. So she continued the story. Okay? Bix never expected to be the first of her pack to befriend a human, the first to defy the ruler of their kingdom and live to tell the tale. Bix always feared being the last Dairn, the Endling. Now she is the first to journey into the unknown and the first to discover a deadly secret. So this is another character you meet in the first book, by the way. I'm not going to tell you everything. So the Endlings, and she's making a third one. Can't wait. So Endling the Last is my first chapter Friday pick for this week. I hope that you find a good book. Always get your hands on a good book, and have a great Friday.